7:30 Eastern, Indiana at UCLA. I love this battle of first-year head coaches here.
Yeah.
That's what's fun about this. But I'll tell you what, Indiana through 2 games has looked very impressive.
They have. Now, they played a team last week and broke the school scoring record with 77 points. Western Illinois has currently the longest losing streak in college football. And so you can make something of it. The fact that they're playing with energy, the fact that they're playing with physicality, that they're kind of playing to the personality of their new head coach, Curt Cignetti. He's a Pittsburgh guy. He's got that Pittsburgh accent. He's got that chip on his shoulder. Came from JMU where he was, hugely successful, brought a lot of players with him that transferred from James Madison. And so it's a great way for them to start the year. They know, look, things change now. First of all, going on the road, a long road trip, and opening Big Ten play. But, as far as how they've looked and how they might feel confidence-wise after the first 2 games, I think they're probably sky high. And I think Indiana fans should be excited about what they look like so far. But we'll find out when they go out to UCLA, because UCLA, at least when they line up against them, it'll be a more fair fight. The first 2 games was not a fair fight. They should have won those first 2 games because they just have better people. But UCLA will match them athletically, and they'll match them in size and strength and athleticism. So it should be a fun game. And, I'm curious to see UCLA in their week 1. They beat Hawaii. They went to Hawaii and won. They did not play very well. I mean, they were down 10-0 at halftime. They battled back. They won it on a last-second field goal. So they're happy with the win. Not exactly probably happy with how they played or how they executed, particularly in the first half, but they've had a week off, so they've had a week off to make those corrections, to get better, and now to see what they look like in week 3. So it should be a very interesting matchup of these 2 new coaches and new programs.
Yeah, I mean, look, what Deshaun Foster has on his side is experience.
Yeah.
The quarterback started 6 games last year. Ethan Garbers is experience. His running backs both come back. Our experience. He brings in a guy, Enrico Flores, who we saw at Notre Dame last year, is impressive and played a lot as a true freshman, and is a guy who played a lot of high school football in Texas and one of the prominent programs in that state, a state obviously known for its football. They've got experience on both sides of the field. So while it is a first-year head coach, he brings a lot of guys that were not just experienced within college football, but within that program. And obviously he was a part of that program as the running backs coach. So there is continuity there. On the other side, I love that Curt Cignetti, like his whole philosophy was, hey, I can go recruit kids now from the ground zero up and we can start from scratch, or I can go out to the transfer portal, get a ton of my guys from James Madison, but also go out and find guys who have played. And the quote he had, I think it might have been at Media Day, was, I want the guys who have been on the field, because he said I could go after guys who were 2 or 3 on their team that were on a great team and they're just potential, right? We haven't seen it. Or I can go get a quarterback from Ohio who has started a ton of games, who has played for years at this point and knows what college football is all about. That's what he elected to do. So it does feel like we've got experience versus experience in this game. And it's going to be fun to see what UCLA, to your point, can do in terms of their adjustments. And it's going to be the first real test for Deshaun Foster to go out there and say, hey, this is what I'm capable of as a head coach. I saw what we did week 1 or really didn't do. Here's how we're going to fix it heading into week 3 after a week off. So fun matchup.
Yeah, it should be. And I don't know that we know exactly what UCLA is going to look like. I think there's still a lot of unknown with them, because Eric Bieniemy is the new offensive coordinator. Chip Kelly is at Ohio State. So what is that offense really going to look like compared to what they looked like last year? Showed some of that against Hawaii. What new wrinkles will we see in this game? And then defensively, Danton Lynn, the defensive coordinator, which was a huge loss for UCLA, went across town to USC, but apparently they're keeping the same system or a similar system. So, but we'll see what all that looks like in what I think will be a very entertaining matchup on Saturday night.
Yeah, the Danton Lynn thing, obviously we've seen just what it looks like already at USC, and that defense finally looks like they've got the right principles down, they've got the right fundamentals down, and it's made a huge difference.